Joining me now is Dr. Michael Bruce, the sleep doctor. Today we're going to talk about sleep and performance, work, play, and play in the bedroom. How important is sleep to be able to really function at your best?
So sleep has a direct effect on every type of performance you can imagine, whether it's a physiological performance or a mental performance. So if you're playing a video game or doing an activity, both are going to be dramatically affected by your ability to sleep.
What about your ability to concentrate and think when you're at work?
Absolutely. So historically, we used to see that people would say, well, I only got 4 hours of sleep last night and I was working late and I'm really dedicated to my work. And what we find is those people aren't making great decisions at work. So we know that there's a direct correlation between your ability to make a good decision and how much sleep you got. So oftentimes I'm telling employers, let your employees get the sleep that they need. Overtime might not necessarily be the best idea.
Is it important for employers to look at sleep in relationship to individuals, to say, you figure out what your circadian rhythm is, and if you're an early starter, come in early. If you're later, then come in later.
Absolutely. So we know that there are people that we call larks, who like to get up early, and owls, who like to stay up late. And so a lot of employers, especially people who have shift work in their regime for their business, should look at, is this person a night owl or an early morning person, and then try to get them to their shift appropriately. But let's say they're not shift workers and you kind of have the average person who's coming into work. There are some people who are definitely going to have their more productive times in the morning, and those will have their more productive times in the afternoon. So finding out who those people are and kind of scheduling when they're supposed to make their decisions accordingly can be very effective.
You talked about the ability to make good decisions when you're sleep deprived. What about creativity, if let's say that's part of your work?
So here's a great study done out of Lübeck, Germany, that found that the more sleep deprived you are, the less creative you are. So if you have a position that requires creativity, whether you're in advertising or art or whatever it happens to be, you want to get those hours of sleep. Yet some of the most creative people I know don't get their creative inspiration until 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's a little bit of a dichotomy there. And sometimes we have to tell these people, okay, if that's when you get your inspiration, that's great, but we need you to take a nap.
So it's about finding the right circadian rhythm for
Yes.
you and then working in conjunction with your body.
Yeah, you know, our bodies are kind of programmed a certain way. It's hard to change your circadian rhythm. There are different therapies that we can use if somebody's got a sleep disorder that's a circadian rhythm disorder, but generally speaking, you kind of are who you are. You're either a night owl or an early morning lark, and it's going to be a little bit hard to change that.
Sleep and sex, is there a connection there as well?
There is. We know that the more sleep deprived people are, the lower their libido, so the less desirous they are for actually engaging in sex. You know, it used to be, not tonight, I have a headache. Now it's not tonight, I'm just too tired. We see that happen quite a bit. When you start to look at the amount of sleep that people are getting versus how many times a month, let's say, that they're having sex with their bed partner, the relationship becomes very apparent very quickly.
Thank you for joining us
Thank you.
on this segment of Empowered Health.